In the United States from 1998 to 2007, Toyota produced the 100 series for the United States market, and it's called the UZJ 100. And that's all the US got. And what's behind me is something different, something that we did not get in the US, and I'm excited to tell you about this. Hi, my name is Chad Nasser. I like cars, but I like to buy cars that don't go down in price. Specifically, the Toyota Land Cruiser. I get mad sometimes because we did not get our hands on the coolest things that were made out there. It's either because there is an employee in a certain company that decide not to give us the cool stuff in here, or there is a group of people in a certain organization, they decide to deny certain vehicles to enter the US because of some emission or some bullshit laws. A lot of people waited and have been waiting for years to get some of the cars that they really want to get because of the import law that we have, which is 25-year-old or older. But fortunately, I'm able to get the cars that I really love, and they're right here behind me. None of these cars are available in the US. We didn't get any of these specs out here. But today, I am very, very excited to tell you about this specific one, and it's the 100 series Land Cruiser. For the 80 series, I've already made an hour-long video that you can go and check out in the channel. I'll do a very quick comparison between this and that, but today I'm gonna be fully focused on this one specifically. The 100 series Land Cruiser has been loved and admired by millions of people, and the ones that we got in the United States is the UZJ 100 because it comes with the engine that is the 2UZ-FE, and that's a 4.7 liter V8 naturally aspirated engine. Yes, that engine produces a good amount of horsepower, especially in the later years because they generate more horsepower, but the question is it really needed? And to answer that question is no. The 100 series Land Cruiser did not need the V8 with a 4.7 liter engine because there was one model that was available for the rest of the world, and that car is called an FZJ 100 because it carries the 1FZ-FE engine from the 80 series Land Cruiser, which is a million-mile engine. The car is light and nimble, and the chassis is superb. The 1FZ-FE in the later years, especially the ones that were generated from 1998 to 2007, generate a little bit more horsepower than 1FZ. It is a little bit more improved, and it's the one that is on this vehicle. Let's pop the hood and check it out. Let's pop the hood and take a look at the heart of the vehicle, and I'm gonna be talking about all the cool features and specs and parts that this truck has that we did not get in the US, and also some parts of the world. Now let's pop the hood and take a look. Don't mind the mess. The vehicle has not even been registered yet. I just received it. I was driving this one personally in Dubai. I put over 10,000 miles, over 16,000 kilometers personally out there. I drove it everywhere and did not miss a beat. Currently, the vehicle has about 110,000 miles. It is about 175, I would say, 174,000 kilometers, and the vehicle is pristine. It is one of the best ones I was able to find, and it is a GXR. I am going to be explaining the details about what the GXR gets. But first, let's take a look at the engine. This thing looks familiar right here. This thing looks familiar right here. You've seen it. This is the 1FZ-FE engine. And if you can't tell the difference between the 1FZ-FE on the 100 series Land Cruiser, which is this one, then the one on the 80 series, I will tell you. And it's right here. This is a very noticeable difference. That's how you tell this engine was produced from 1998 to 2007. And also, it produces more horsepower than the one on the 80 series, which is the 1FZ-FE. Same engine, but produces a little bit more horsepower right here. This one produces 225 horsepower. The one on the 80 series produces 212 horsepower. Let's put in perspective. This one, 100 series, inline 6, produces 225 horsepower. The massive V8, the 4.7 liter engine that's on the UZJ 100, which is the 2UZ-FE, that massive engine till 2005 only produces 230 horsepower, 5 more horsepower than what this engine produces. That's why this engine was absolutely loved by everybody, because it's much lighter for the vehicle, it's better at fuel economy, it's easier to maintain, there's tons of parts for it, and also it drives the vehicle absolutely phenomenal. Now let's close the hood and talk about the exterior details, and also take a look at the inside and maybe take it for a drive. Before I tell you what the key features that this car has, I am just gonna walk through them just so you can keep watching, because we want the views. We just started the channel and we want this channel to grow. First thing is we have the glass lights. The side markers and also the headlights are glass. You can just polish them and they'll look just like how they were. Super durable. You don't have to worry about cracking them or anything. Something we did not get in the US is the hood ornament, something I absolutely love. Again, this is the GXR. The GXR is like right in between. There is a G, which is the base. There is a GX a little bit above it, and then there is a GXR, and then there is a VXR. There's also a GXR Limited, and there's also a VXR Limited. It looks just like it, but there's also slightly small differences that only the people that are familiar with these cars will know. The GXR, on this one specifically, we have the black grille. Unlike the VXR, all the other ones, this one we got the black grille, and also we have the gold chrome trim around it, which I absolutely love. Something you will notice in here, we have textured plastic bumper. This is not an unpainted bumper, not the one that you can just go grab from the deal that is unpainted, that is ready to be painted. This one's different. This is textured plastic. It's absolutely durable. It's like the same material that you'll find on like mud flaps or like a front lip on a Corvette or a Porsche from the factory. It is textured plastic. It feels rough. It is super durable. It doesn't scratch as easily. Also, there is no fog lights, so not more accessories that you don't have to worry about. Now let's go to the side and take a look. The very first thing you will notice on the side of the vehicle is those red bright decals that I absolutely love. They do make the vehicle look completely different, especially people that own these overseas. They know this is a GXR. These decals only came in certain years, and people can recognize what year and also what trim the vehicle is. I am gonna remove them because they start to crack and show some age. I do have a replacement for them, but I'm not sure. Once I remove them and give the car a quick polish, I will see if I'm gonna remove it and also leave it without decals, or maybe I'll install the decals on. We'll see. I'll make that decision once I get the decals removed. Another thing you will notice is this truck came with Steelies. We have 16-inch wheel, Steely, that I absolutely love. They look completely basic, and it's just what I like about it. It's a Land Cruiser. What would you expect? That's what we got on here. Something I love. It's a 16-inch tire. It's the same tire that goes on the 80 series. Again, there's a lot of parts that are interchangeable. We got the engine parts, and also we got some of the exterior parts that we can change around. Another thing that this vehicle has that ones in the US don't have is the side markers. It's cool. Again, it's functional. I really don't know if you get the benefits out of it, but it's something different. Another cool thing we have in here is the aluminum side steps. These things are super durable, unlike the ones that we got in here, the black rubber ones that always get dirty. It's harder to clean. This one, if it gets corroded over time, if that happens, you can just use aluminum cleaner and that thing will go back to brand new, just like how it came from the factory. Let me show you one of the coolest things that we got in here, and it's right there. You see that? We have no sunroof. You will never have to deal with leak. I absolutely hate sunroof personally, and this truck does not have a sunroof. Once we go to the back, this sight is slightly different than what we're used to see. If you can tell, the tail lights look different. Also, the entire tailgate looks different. This one, it's kind of missing a tail light. If you can see, there is this section and there is the other section that is not in here. This one was only available on the vehicles that came out without spare tire, but this one came with a factory spare tire on the back right here, which is, again, it's a swing out spare tire. This is how you operate this thing. The tailgate and also the tail light came this way. It's kind of missing a piece, but this is how it looks. I personally prefer it the way it is. I like it the way it is. I only like the ones that came in the later years, which is, again, the full tail light in the 2006 and 2007s. I also prefer this style of tail light on the 2006, 2007s because this style tail light always comes with a spare tire in the back, and the full one does not come with spare tire. So kind of like, which one do you want? I like both. I do love both. Okay, but I don't like the full taillight that came in the early years. Something you will see in here, we have these right here. This is kind of used as like a ladder, okay, because this is the GXR. This is more like a utilitarian vehicle. People use it for their farms. They go in the desert. Typically, this one comes with a roof rack. I do have the roof rack actually for it that goes on there. It's aluminum full basket, that's what they call it. And you can use these as a ladder to climb up, which is super cool. And again, these are super durable. They are reinforced from the inside. There are plates on the inside to reinforce it. I mean, again, this is all factory stuff. They can hold, I believe, up to 300 pounds or more. I believe more than 300 pounds, because if you can see, we got the spare tire right here. There's only 2 of them holding exactly the same, units that we have in here. And I can hang on the spare tire and will not even tilt. That's how durable this one is. When we open the spare tire, also the tailgate looks slightly different than the one we got in here. This section, it is different. The position of the license plate, it is different. And the ones that we have, or the ones that came without a spare tire carrier in the back, the license plate positioned right here in the center. This whole trim looks different. It is a lifted tailgate, just like this one, but this whole lower section is different, and also the upper section, because this section should be right here in the center. Once this is opened all the way out, this one just opens up just like how we have it here, and also the other one just opens down. We have gold trim everywhere. We have the Land Cruiser right here. We got this one. We got this one right here. It is absolutely cool. I love this thing. We have brake light right there. We also have the black textured bumper that, again, I'm not worried about scratching this or anything. It is absolutely cheap. It is so cheap. I asked about the prices for these bumpers. This bumper, I believe, costs about $100 or $150, and the front bumper costs about like $250, and you don't have to paint it. So if you crack this, you can just get it redone. I did crack it myself. I went to the desert in Dubai. Again, I put, thousands of miles on this one, and I cracked it personally, and I had this one replaced. That's why the trailer hitch right here is removed, and I had this one replaced with an OEM one, and it was super cheap. I absolutely love it. Now let's take a look at one thing before we go and take a look at the interior. Cool? That one thing is right here. I have to use a tool, which is just a pen. I wanted to use this one so I don't scratch or damage anything. Let me show you what that one thing is before we take a look at the inside. First thing is, I need to open the fuel cap cover, and also open this, take the cap out. All right, just like any other Land Cruiser, but I am gonna grab the camera and show you. If we get closer, this is what you will see. When you open this one looks slightly different. If we push this one to the inside, you'll see there is one hole on this side and also another hole on that side. You know why is this? It's because if we lift this one up, you'll see there is main tank and also sub tank. So to answer that question, if you all are wondering, this vehicle has 2 fuel tanks. We have a main fuel tank and also have a sub fuel tank. I love this feature. I can go for hundreds of miles without even worrying about filling up the tank, even though the truck already gets like 10 miles per gallon. Now let's open the door and take a look at the inside. Let's see. We have a very simple interior. We have brown with beige, also cloth interior. The patterns on here are matching the ones on the side panels. And if we hop inside, we can see a little bit more. Okay, let's take a look. We have the triangle. They call this one a sambusa steering wheel, which is, again, it comes as a triangle. The gauges look slightly different, but at the same time, they're almost the same as the ones that we have. Here is the key. I'm gonna insert the key to see what we can show you. We have 174,000 kilometers. Again, I bought a lot of these kilometers when I was back in Dubai. When we take a look at over here, we have the sub fuel tank button right here. This one comes in handy. Once we close this, the rest is just super simplistic. We have no sunroof, which is it's a game changer. Now let me show you an important thing that we have on here, and it's right here. It's a 5-speed manual transmission with a part-time 4-wheel drive. This is one of the coolest things that this truck has. The engine is one of the coolest ones, and also the 5-speed manual transmission is absolutely one of the coolest things that this truck has. I love the way this one shifts. I love the way it drives. It does feel quicker than the automatic transmission that is available on this vehicle. I just love this thing. Manual transmission, you just can't like roll these gears, 5 gears, reverse, part-time 4-wheel drive. Everything works in here. We have regular e-brake. This thing is just so awesome. We have the cassette right there. I do have my tech version of the cassette, which is this one, Bluetooth, just to show you that technology came so far for now that we can put this one in without any wires or anything, and you can just connect it to your phone using the Bluetooth. We have the armrest, we have the refrigerator right here, which is a cool box that we can use, cloth interior, very simplistic. That's all you need. It's so quiet in here, it's so comfortable. I love this thing. I put a lot of miles. The AC works amazing. Just everything on this one is super awesome. And if we go to the back, also another very simplistic interior. There's really not much going on in here. You don't have to worry about DVDs or CDs or controllers or anything. We have just cup holders right here, and the rest is history. There's nothing really going on in here. We have the rear AC controller, which is pretty awesome. We can fold the seat down just by using this. Don't mind the mess. This is what I was using in Dubai, going out there, camping everywhere. We have the fold down seats, the 3rd row, which is comes in handy. You can take them off if you want to. You can keep them if you want to. It's up to you. We have the escape gate right there. If you lock someone in, that person will be able to escape. But for now, that's it. But you know what? Before we end the video, let's take it for a drive. How about that? All right, we are in the most beautiful vehicle that was ever produced, in my opinion. It's a 1999 Toyota Land Cruiser. I think it is one of the best vehicles that was ever produced by Toyota, and arguably one of the best vehicles, in my opinion, that was produced in the late 90s and early 2000s. And it is the 99 Toyota Land Cruiser GXR. This is the GCC spec, which is the Middle Eastern spec. Like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, there's a lot of different parts and also options that this vehicle has that the United States versions did not get, because in the United States we got something that was optioned out with fully loaded versions, and that's all we got. All of them came with sunroofs, I believe, with the exceptions of Hawaii. I believe they got certain vehicles without a sunroof. And also the cloth seat is one of the options that was available in the US, but they only got like 50 pieces of those, and I think they only came out between the 98 and 99. It's something that was super rare in here, and most of these vehicles are either rusted out or I don't know, maybe destroyed completely. There is none out there that is in a great condition. This specific one is one of the best conditions I was able to find. It's one of the best conditions that is available actually in the Middle East, because most of these vehicles, especially the inline 6, because I mentioned that earlier, a lot of these are very liked by all the Middle Easterns, and they put a lot of miles on these vehicles. Most of them have, in kilometers, they have 600, 700, 800, almost 1,000,000 kilometers on a lot of these vehicles. And they really drive them. They enjoy them. Again, as far as fuel economy is not the best, but for them, it's something they can manage. They are super durable, super strong. Okay, you can take it to the desert. You can carry the family with you. Got a lot of space in the back. All-rounded best vehicles that is ever made, and also is very loved by the people in the Middle East. Most of them are preferred to be manual transmission. There are a lot of them that come in automatic that are very disliked, and a lot of them get swapped to manual transmission. You almost cannot tell because that's something they gotta dial down pretty well, but it's not like when it comes from the factory. This one is a 5-speed manual. It came from the factory. Right now we're doing about 70 miles per hour. We are on the freeway. Maybe it's a little bit loud, but again, it's a lot quieter than most vehicles, especially we're talking about 1990s. This one, I've purchased it from somebody because of the condition, someone that sells very, very low mileage cars. I don't know how he gets his hands on these vehicles. I've purchased 2 from him so far, and this is my 3rd one. The moment I saw it listed, I fell in love with it. I really wanted it. And at that time, that was back in December. Currently we're in July. That was back in December when I saw the vehicle was listed, and it was just like timed perfectly because I was already planning a trip to Dubai early January, and the vehicle was in Saudi Arabia. So I discussed it with him. I told him that I want the vehicle. I was in Dubai. Well, that I'm planning to go to Dubai, and the vehicle was in Saudi Arabia, and I wanted him to ship it to Dubai so I can drive it, and then I can ship it up here. I was gonna go with something a little bit newer, like a 2015 Land Cruiser, like a 200 series, just like how I have him here. But I opted with something that is more classic, something that really goes with my liking, and it's right here. We made the purchase. That was back in December. He ships out the vehicle to Dubai, and when I landed there, after a few days, I was able to receive it, and I drove it for several months on an import license, which is, well, an export license, actually, license plate at that time. So I was able to drive it, not a problem, no issues. The car was insured, and it was a blast. I put a lot of miles on that one. I drove everywhere. I had several trips to Abu Dhabi, several trips to Al Ain, Ras Al Khaimah. I was all over the UAE. And I put over, I don't remember how much exactly, but I believe about 10,000 miles, maybe like 16,000 kilometers altogether. Between the trips I was there, I was putting about 2,000 to 3,000 kilometers a week on the vehicle, and I was there for almost like a month and a half to 2 months. And the vehicle really did not miss a beat. It's a really, really low mileage for most of these ones. I mean, there is really barely any of these out there with such a low mileage. This one is about, like I said, 115,000 miles probably, maybe less. I can't really do the conversion at the moment. It's such a great vehicle. I drove it everywhere in there. I took it to the desert. I got some cool pictures by the Burj Khalifa, by the Future Museum. There are just so many places I went and had fun with this one. I was able to pick up some people, friends, everybody that was showing up to Dubai. I get them from the airport. We can put all the stuff in the back. That car was just such an awesome, awesome vehicle. And I could not wait for this vehicle to be back here in the United States. And I just received it. Currently, the vehicle is not titled, but I'm driving it. I do have a dealer plate. I do have a dealer's license, so I can use that temporarily. In the meantime, I'm just enjoying it and showing you what I can show you in this video. The car shifts amazing. It is pretty hot right now. I believe the temperature is about, I don't know, maybe 90, 89, somewhere around there. So it is pretty hot. The AC, I just have it on low at the moment, and it just feels great. The shifter, you know, look at this. It's just so cool. It is a lot quieter and also more comfortable than the 100 series. I drove 100 series in Dubai. I put, you know, a couple of thousand miles, kilometers on the one in there. I also have an 80 series, sorry, a 60 series I was driving over there. That was not the best vehicle to drive around, especially when I have all my family with me. So the 60 series was not very pleasant, okay? You got no radio, you got nothing to enjoy. But the 80 series was a lot better. The one I had is a 94. Same thing, I took that one to the desert and had a blast with it. But this one is just the nicest to drive, and it's the quietest, it's more refined, it's more comfortable. The suspensions definitely play a big part, having independent suspensions, unlike the 80 series, which we have the solid front and rear axles. So this one is a lot better. I kind of wish sometimes it had a diff lock, but I don't think it's a really deal breaker. The only reason why I wanted the diff lock is because of one incident that happened to me with this vehicle. I was driving in the desert, having a blast, and then I ended up parking at the end, which is like the tip of the dune, and I got stuck up there. So as I tried to back up, I couldn't back up, and if I tried to move forward, the truck just did not move, and it pretty much got stuck in there. The car was sitting on the frame in the dunes, and I just could not really do anything. If I put it in reverse or go in first gear, there's only like one wheel spinning, and the other wheels are just on the desert, but on the sand, but they were just not moving. So if I had a diff lock, that incident would have probably not happened, but I was able to fix it. Some people were able to rescue me, and all they just had to do is just shake up the vehicle a little bit, and I was able to back up. That was a cool experience. So the only thing is about the 98, 99 100 series Land Cruiser, they came with a rear diff lock only. In that scenario, it might have been helpful, but having front and rear diff locks is always the best. But again, you can't always ask for everything. So to me, this one is absolutely amazing. The reason why I bought it is because of the condition. It is very, very difficult, as many as they have these vehicles out there, but a lot of them have like full paint job with, you know, at least 400,000 kilometers. This one, when I got my hands on it, it had like about 160, maybe less than that, 158,000 kilometers. And I just could not say no. I did overpay for it, but that's what you get. I mean, if you want like the best of the best, when there is very low inventory out there, you're gonna be paying premium, and I do not regret it at all. It's just one of these things, and I don't know what my plans are for now. I am gonna enjoy it for a little bit. I do have my eyes on another 80 series, 100 series. I might be buying that one. I'm not sure which one I'm gonna keep, which one I'm gonna sell. I try not to sell all my vehicles because it's just so hard to find them, but at the same time, I always like to change things up. I don't sell anything before I find a replacement. That's just my way of operation. If I can't find a replacement, I'm not gonna sell the vehicle. So if this one goes for a sale, it's just because I already found a replacement, and the replacement doesn't have to be better, okay? When I sold my 70 series, it's an FJ75 pickup. The white one was a 97. That one had about 100,000 kilometers, actually 110,000 kilometers. And when I sold that one, I replaced it with another Land Cruiser pickup, a 75 pickup. It was a 1994, a little bit older, and with about a 230, 240,000 kilometers. So that doesn't mean I replaced it with something better. I just ended up replacing it, but it has to be like the right replacement, okay? There are vehicles I see like this one for like almost half the price, but that I'm not gonna let go of this just because I can find something that's available everywhere where you know, people really throw them away. These ones, they typically sit a little bit. When people list them for sale, it really depends on what the asking price is, but they don't really sit for that long just because there are people who will just snag them even if they ask premium. And I was able to get this one within probably like about 2 weeks of the vehicle was listed. Again, it's an older vehicle. You're talking about people, all they drive is a lot of brand new vehicles. This is not something that people want to drive. They don't want to pay premium for these ones, so they prefer for the same price to pay for this. They'll buy, you know, 2015, between 13 to 15, I would say, for the same price I paid for this one. That's just the way they do it. But a lot of them, they drive brand new vehicles. So, you know, 2024 is like the new thing. They all drive, you know, 300 series. That is a common thing. The new Prado that is getting popular at the moment over there. They just got that one. Also the Lexus, the GX550, and obviously the LX. But the most desirable one is always going to be the Land Cruiser, the 300 series. They're everywhere over there. And also the refreshed version of the 200 series, which is 2016 to 2021. That one is, I think, is the most liked 200 series over there, so everyone drives them. But this one is something different. For me, I like just rolling these gears and just put it in any gear I want. Everything works perfectly. It does get some looks when people see them. The only people that know about these vehicles, they actually take a look at them, and it gets their attention. But not many people are familiar with what these vehicles are. I think one of the reasons why people see this one is because it's got the red stripes and also the spare tire in the back. Maybe the cleanliness as well, but it has to be like someone that is familiar with these vehicles to be able to tell what this one is. Currently, it doesn't have plates. I barely drove. I probably put less than 20 or 30 miles on this one since I got it. I got it just a few weeks ago. And I do need to do a little bit of cleanup. Like I said, I want to, polish the paint. I want to remove the decals. I want to take a look at the undercarriage. There's really nothing wrong with it. There's absolutely no rust or anything. I want to make sure the vehicle is in the best shape possible. So that's just a way of me of doing things. If anything that needs to be replaced, I already have certain parts I purchased for it, like the chrome trim pieces where the window molding on the outside, all these ones I got replacements for them. Just minor things that typically bother me, so I always buy brand new ones, OEM from Toyota, and replace it with it. But for now, we're gonna have to end the video. Thank you all for watching. This is probably one of a kind 100 series Land Cruiser with the 1FZ FE 1998 GXR that I've personally imported, that I've personally driven. I put a lot of miles on this one back in the Middle East, and here it is. I'm able to enjoy it, and we'll see what the future plans with it. But for now, we have to end the video. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.